Your Uncle Chris and your mommy?
No.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So.
What should I do? What should I do?
Is that her? Are you kidding me?
Is she farting right now?
Yes. Whoa!
Here, right back at you.
She just hopped on in here and she's hotboxing
She
us.
said, yeah. She's like, let me go wreak havoc on my family, literally.
So this is my brother Chris. We're going to be doing a talk about
FSU versus UF.
FSU versus UF and our experiences there. I went to UF, he went to FSU, and they're like rival schools. They don't like each other, I guess. Why do you think they don't like each other?
Because from the perspective of FSU, UF definitely has a reputation of just being snobby. From the perspective of UF, FSU is like trashy. I think we're both right.
I think we're both making valid points.
Yeah.
I mean, I took a lot of advanced ones because the AP ones I passed in high school would go over there. But yeah, the level of difficulty is insane compared to high school. Big discrepancy with like amount of work and what the teachers expect from you and stuff.
I remember the very first assignment that I ever had to do for FSU was for my English class, and we just had to put a little discussion response to a teacher's prompt. I just thought it was supposed to be like a quick one paragraph thing. She said minimum of 250 words, so type that up, sent it up, it was like 253 words. And then I look at everyone else's posts and they're like 500, 600 words. Like these people are doing super detailed analysis.
I was those people.
I just remember feeling like, oh, am I like supposed to be here? It said 250 words, so I put 250 words.
Well, bare minimum, that's my middle bag.
I got an A on the assignment, so hey, it works, but.
I've always considered myself a smart person. Like, I would study hard to be smart, but it was tough for me to get used to it. I mean, you're just adjusting to a new environment, a new everything. Also, I had a high school relationship that got brought into college, and that was really tough. That definitely affected my experience. My professors were awesome. Because I was pre-med, but also I was an English major. This woman, she was so cool. I don't know, I feel like the English people are either really cool or like the worst. My professors were either the worst or the best.
I don't know, most of my professors, they just weren't very, like, unique, I guess. Nothing, like, really noteworthy out of any of my professors.
I've forgotten all of them.
I mean, yeah, they were all just kind of people who were in my life for a semester, and then
See you never.
I can't even remember their names, so.
Much harder for me than for my comrade here.
Most of my friends that I still am very close with today I've met through because we live in the same hallway. So I adore them, and I don't need any more friends, so I'm done.
I remember Christopher came back from college one day and he brought like 10 friends. I'm like, who are these people? He's like, these are all my friends. My best friends. I'm like, every single one of them? Yeah, they're in my hallway. I didn't know you were supposed to make friends in college.
Everyone that I met at FSU, like everyone there, even though we didn't know each other, even though we came from totally different backgrounds, it still felt like we had a place at FSU.
Honestly, I don't know if I've ever felt like I belonged anywhere. But again, I feel like my college experience was jaded from the relationships I decided to put myself in at that time. The vibe, because I did have a lot of friends that went to FSU, and when I would go visit and party with them, I was like, this is, like, their level of tolerance was very high. And I was like, I'm boring. That's what I discovered. I'm boring. And like, I don't know, I could never enjoy FSU. I like the thought of it. Like, I love the thought of like wanting to go out every night and like socializing with people, being in a crowded club, like all that stuff. But I hated it. I'm like, this is the worst. I don't want to wake up in the morning feeling bad after drinking. I don't want these sweaty people touching me or these weird guys hitting on me. I don't know.
See, personally, specifically Gainesville versus Tallahassee. Tallahassee's garbage. Gainesville is worse. I feel actively unsafe in Gainesville. Like going out in Gainesville, there's like a 50-50 shot if I'm gonna make it back. In Tallahassee, that shot is like 70-30 that I'll make it back. The risk is still there.
So you felt safer at FSU than UF?
I wouldn't say safer, I would say less.
Well, you're also a man. So.
I would say less uncomfortable.
Okay, so these are 2021 safety stats. For FSU, number of incidents for major crimes is 73. For UF, it's 149. more than double. Arrests for possession at FSU are 161 and at UF are 85. Okay, this one's interesting. Violence against women at FSU is, the number of incidents is 19, and for UF it's 88. Probably like the fraternities, I'm assuming.
They're wild in a way different way.
Like what?
So one of the fraternities, I don't think that you can post this, but I'm going to say it anyway. Basically, the frat got kicked off campus because
No.
yeah, no.
Was that true?
Yeah.
One time I was at a frat party and there was like a table and it was kind of dirty, so like I brushed it off and they all got so pissed at me because it was cocaine. All on my
That is
hands.
off.
I'm like, gross, is this flour? What is that? I always thought cocaine would be like in a bottle or something, like a vial. I never thought it would be so carelessly laid out like that.
This is not sanitary. It's all over the table. I remember the first time I was offered cocaine was at recess.
Like, how did they ask you?
I was in the bathroom.
Wait. Offer me cocaine.
Yeah, you want some blow?
Blow?
I don't know.
I would take it and go, just blow in his face. Thank you.
Within my first like 2 weeks at FSU, a girl accidentally flashed me because she was drunk and it was like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I could like give a whole detail.
That was best?
The actual like build up to that is a lot better, but I'm just giving you the
Was she like, I'm gonna flash you?
No,
You're
okay.
like, no, don't
So
do
then
it.
I'll give you the whole gist. We were all out hammocking, alright? It was me, my buddy Richard,
I hate it already.
Aiden. I don't remember who else was there.
Yes, you do. You
I
just don't want to say it.
I just know it was me and Richard. I hear this voice from about like 30 feet away.
It was her tits. They were talking to me.
No.
All he could hear was,
No, I just hear.
she was getting closer and closer. And she was wearing Chanel number 5.
What was that from?
Pink pants.
Oh!
Okay,
And then
yeah.
the twins comes out.
Yeah.
But
I'm Yuri, the
Yuri, the
trainer of
trainer.
brains.
And what is it you
is
do
that
here,
you
Yuri,
do
the
here,
trainer?
The trainer of brains.
I
I
train. So you
yeah,
are Yuri is a
trainer of
trainer who
brains.
trains. Do
Where
not
have
leave
you
your
on the next episode?
we're all sitting in the hammocks.
Back to my boob story.
I hear a voice from about 30 feet away going, "Hey, do you have room in your hammock? You look like you have room in your hammock." I stay perfectly still. My buddy scooches over and she sits next to him. She is like about that far, you can't see, but about that far away. She's facing towards me. She goes, "Are you a Jew? You look like a Jew." And I'm totally caught off guard by this question.
I thought this was a boob story.
No, the boobs
Boobs.
are coming.
But were the boobs ugly? I mean, is that why it's a bad story?
No, it's, this is neither bad nor good. This is
All
just
boobs are
noticeable.
beautiful.
Boobs are life.
Boobs are boobs. It's like
Boobs are life.
pizza. Even when they're bad, it's still pretty good.
Back to the flashing, man.
She just starts talking about how her roommate had dated a Jew. She continues talking. A couple minutes of small talk later, she gets up and she wants to get all of our snaps. She walks over to me, and as she's walking towards me, she's very drunk, also only wearing a tube top. So she goes to adjust her tube top, and she pulls it up, and her whole boob just falls out directly in front of me. And I'm like, "Hey, you might want to get that." And she goes, "Oh, sorry," but then pulls this side down too far so that her other boob pops out as well. Says sorry again, corrects herself, still gives me the Snapchat as if nothing happened. It was totally casual. Oh, also she didn't like how I was a Taurus. She was like, "Oh, Taurus are the worst. I hate them." I was like, Jesus, you're just attacking me today.
I remember my first time flashing a man. I was actually going to a track meet or something, and I was changing in the car. Someone saw me changing next to their car. I didn't know they were in the car, but they were inside the car. So they were literally right next to me. My tits were right here.
Ah.
And they were like, "Little boy?"
Would you like some soup, young child? You look malnourished.
This was kind of a funny story. Okay, before the time runs out on the thing. One time, my friend and I went frat house hopping, but then her boyfriend was tracking her the whole time, and we lied about where we were. Or she lied. I was just sitting next to her like, And then he's like, "But it said you were at da-da-da-da." And I was like, "Yeah, I had to go there for my jacket." And he's like, "You don't have a jacket." I was like, I couldn't find it because it was there. And he was like asking her all these things, and I was the savior of the night. She's not with him anymore. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. This took a turn. I love you guys.
Smash that like button, hit that subscribe, and ring that bell so you get always updated whenever I messed it up. Ring that bell!